She came into the house?
Yeah. She started like walking up the stairs and I was like, hello, like, how can I help you? And she was like, she like followed us around the house.
Try telling me without using the word like.
Okay.
This is Judy Justice. Melissa McDermott is suing property owner Terry Gallimore for breach of a rental contract.
All right, we're come to order.
Have a seat, please.
Hello, Judge. We have case number 1020, McDermott versus Gilmore.
Thank you. This case is a relatively simple one. Ms. McDermott, you want your money back that you paid for the use of an Airbnb that the defendant owns. It's a home. You're going to tell me why you want your money back. You didn't use it and spend the night. I gather that what you were doing was feting your daughter for her 17th birthday. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
How did you find Mr. Gilmore's house to rent?
Through the website Verbo. It's similar to an Airbnb website where they list their properties and you can filter through them to figure out what you want.
Did you get a contract from the defendant?
I did.
May I see it, please?
Of course.
Is this the only contract that you signed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So this is what happened. You were planning just an evening stay. How many friends were you having?
4, I want to say.
And you arrived after the girls arrived.
That is correct.
And that was from Saturday to Sunday or Friday to Saturday?
It was going to be Friday through Sunday was the booking. And earlier in the booking process, when I requested to book his property, you have to kind of describe what you want to do there. And
I don't care about anything other than what is in this contract. This contract now encompasses everything because it's written, it has every element that exists between the two of you.
Yes, ma'am.
And cannot be changed in any way other than in writing and signed by both parties, because that's what it is when you have a contract. Now, I assume, Mr. Gilmore, that you're going to tell me that this lady, who is your neighbor,
Yes.
is going to tell me what happened
Yes.
on that Friday, which is the 30th. Would you step up, please? Tell me your name.
Rochelle Weber.
Miss Weber, you're a next-door neighbor to Mr. Gilmore.
Yes.
Do you recall October the 30th of last year?
Yes.
Tell me about what time in the day you noticed that there were people entering Mr. Gilmore's house. He wasn't at home.
Around 5:30.
Tell me what you observed.
It looked like a bunch of young girls that were going into the front door of his house.
Other than the fact that they were 5 young girls, there wasn't anything untoward about their conduct.
No. They were just,
They were just 5 young
giggling
girls.
and doing what girls do and, on
Right.
their phones and that type of thing. Yeah.
So what did you do?
So about the same time that
I don't want you to editorialize at
Okay.
all. I just want you to tell me what you did.
Well, I looked out my window, and I usually leave my windows open but I shut my window because there was going to be people that were staying there, and I didn't want to have to deal with the noise
Whatever.
and stuff like that. So
Whatever. So far,
Yeah.
they weren't making any noise. They were 5 young
No.
girls going into the house at 5:30 in the afternoon.
yes.
So what did you do?
So like I said, I shut my window and everything. At that same time, when I saw them, Mr. Gallimore sent me a text saying that somebody entered his house without an adult. Did I see adults by chance? Did I see anybody coming into the house?
Okay. So what he did was text you first. You didn't call him.
No.
Okay. Go ahead.
So he sent me a text and said, I have people that are going to be staying in the house, and it's just young girls. There's no adults there.
Okay.
Would you please go over there, because I can't have underage kids staying in my property. It's
Whatever. Is that what he said to you? Don't make things up. Is that what he
No,
said? Would you
that's what he
please
said
go
to
over
me.
there? I can't have underage people staying
Yes,
on my
I don't want
property.
to have underage people staying in my property, and see if there's an adult there. That's what he wanted to know, if there was an adult that had actually,
Well.
shown up. So
Go ahead.
Okay.
So you went over there.
So I went over there, and I knocked on the door, and I knocked again, and I knew people had entered into the house, so I didn't know if they were ignoring me or whatever. And then the door was unlocked, and I opened up the door, and I said, hello. And then all these girls came down from upstairs because it's a 2-story house. They all came down from upstairs.
And
that's when I said, is your mom here or the person who's supposed to be on the contract staying here? And one of the young girls said, no, she's not. And I said, well, then you can't be in the house right now because you're supposed to be with the person who had signed the contract and everything to be in the house with them and stuff.
is that what you told him?
Yes.
Is that what he told you to do?
Yes.
Is that what you told her to do?
Yes.
Okay. And they left.
Well, they had some things that they had put into the garage and everything. So they gathered up their things and everything.
So the girls drove. Did they drive in?
They drove,
in
yes.
2 cars?
There was just one car I saw behind the house.
Okay.
And they put their stuff in the car and stuff like that. And I just said, oh, you guys might want to move your car because their car was kind of parked over a line that you're not supposed to park over, or you can get a parking ticket or get towed in the area because our area is pretty picky about how you park and everything. And so I was just mentioning to that, and, you know, because I didn't think they were going to leave because they could have hung out until their person came and stuff like that. And
Hung out where?
They could have just sat in their car. They could have hung out on the patio in front of the house or whatever. I didn't tell them they had to leave the property. I just said they couldn't be in the house because that's what Mr. Gallimore said, they couldn't be in the house. And so I had just made comment about, oh, you guys might want to move your car. And at that point, one of the girls says, oh, well, we're probably going to go to Walmart anyways. So I assumed that they were leaving.
I don't care what you assumed.
Well,
And is that all that you know?
yes.
Okay. And they left.
I didn't hang out there to watch their car drive away. I went back to my house.
They
because
left.
I did what I was asked to do, and I was done. I wasn't going to sit there and babysit them or anything. So, yeah.
You left.
I did. Yeah.
Okay. Tell me what happened.
I turned around the corner and she started like walking up the stairs, and I was like, hello, like, how can I help you? And she was like, you guys can't be here.
Try telling me what you're going to tell me without using the word like.
Melissa McDermott claims Terry Gallimore's neighbor wrongfully removed Melissa's 17-year-old daughter and her friends from his rental property.
Mr. Gilmore, I want you to take a look at this contract. Go, sir. And I want you to show me, because I may be missing it, where in that contract it gives you the authority, once you receive the money and they've leased the property, I may have missed it, for anybody to eject them from the property.
It's not in the contract.
If it's not in the contract, unless you have another contract.
Well, there's something that she has to sign before she can even get the contract stating that.
Okay, I'm going to take a look at it.
Okay.
Before you got the contract, was there another document that you had to sign?
No, on the website, you request the property and it gives details of the property. And there's nothing that I don't recall signing anything for that.
Well, he says he has something that's signed from you.
Well, it's not signed. They have to.
Just no.
They have to check off on this before they can even get a lease agreement saying that they agree to these terms. If they don't read this and agree to the terms, they don't get a contract.
I don't know. Just a second. I don't know that.
Okay.
That may be true, but I don't know that. So if you want to lease to somebody, and I assume you've been doing this for a while, and you have a contract, and you specifically want to incorporate something specifically in that contract that requires somebody over the age of 25, over the age of 40, over the age of 26 to be there, it has to be in your contract. And the only way to modify your contract is something in writing. What you're trying to tell me is, in order for her to even look at your property, she has to agree to terms. I'm assuming this. And one of the terms is that there has to be an adult there who's over the age of 25 or 26. Yes. And then she presses a button that says agreed.
Yes.
And then you send her a lease, right?
Yep.
Now, is everything that is contained in that overall application for a lease contained in your lease?
No.
Does it contain an amount?
No.
So you put in the amount. Does it contain a date?
Yes.
So that application contains a date?
The date that they agreed to it.
Right. And that's incorporated in your lease?
Yes.
Does it contain who will be present?
No.
No. You have to adopt it and put it in your lease. Does it contain terms that you will not create noise, and any noise after 10 p.m. you will be ejected and forfeit your deposit? Does it contain that?
No.
And you put that in your lease?
Yes.
So there are some things that you put in your lease and some things that you didn't put in your lease.
Correct.
But in the only signed agreement that you have, Mr. Gallimore, you did not indicate that someone had to be over 25 or over 26 or over 24 in order to ask for an application. I'm just telling you that for future reference. Now, nothing that you heard suggested any untoward behavior when you went to the house.
No.
You didn't hear screaming, loud music. The girls were quiet. They were upstairs. You came in. You actually opened the door to a premises that you had no right to go into because it had been a leased premises. I mean, whether the door was open, you didn't mean the door was open. You meant the door was unlocked.
Yes.
Okay. But you had to open the door in order to go in.
Yeah.
And when you opened the door, you had to say hello.
Yes.
You didn't have to scream hello because there was loud music blaring, nothing. The girls were upstairs.
Yes.
Putting their things away. And when you said you can't be in the house, were those your words?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me your first name.
Samantha?
Samantha. Do you remember Miss Weber?
I do.
Do you remember what happened when she came into the house?
I do.
Tell me what happened.
We all unpacked our stuff from our car and put it in the garage, and then we went upstairs and were just checking out the rooms and deciding where we wanted to go eat for dinner. And none of us heard the door open. All we just heard was someone say hello, like she said. And I turned around the corner and she started like walking up the stairs, and I was like, hello, like, how can I help you? And she was like, you guys can't be here.
Try telling me what you're going to tell me without using the word like.
Okay. She said, you guys can't be here. She said we were disrupting her dinner, that we were disrespectful for being there.
No, I was not having dinner.
No, just a second. Don't interrupt her.
Okay.
I asked her if I would be able to call my mom and sort it out. She said there was no point. There was no one over the age of 25 there. There was no reason we could not be there, that he had a very strict policy about that. She like followed us around the house, asked us where the keys were, told us that we like needed to leave, that I couldn't park my car there, that I needed to be moved. And then I said, okay, we're leaving. And she was like, I'll wait. And like watched us as we grabbed all of our stuff and put it back in my car. And before I could say another word, she just closed the garage on us. And then when I realized that I had left some stuff in there, like a birthday sash that I had left, I went around and tried to go back because the door was unlocked. And at that point it was locked and we could not get back in.
And where did you go, Samantha?
To a parking lot, like really about probably 100, 200 feet away from the Airbnb, just the nearest parking lot we could find to figure out
what to do.
Yeah.
Okay. And this was about 5:30?
I would say around that point, yeah.
And that's what you indicated, about 5:30?
Yes. I did not tell them to leave,
Not,
though.
I didn't ask you anything else.
Okay.
I just said it was about 5:30.
Yes.
And that was about the same time that you received a phone call from Mr. Gallimore.
It was a text message.
Or a text message about 5:30.
Yes.
Okay. Now, how far, Miss McDermott, is where you are to where the house was?
I'd say probably 50 miles, 45 to 50 miles.
So at that hour, at that time, it probably took you an hour and 15 minutes to get there?
But when I got the call from her, frantic, when they were told
Yeah,
to
so
leave.
it was a quarter to
I,
6?
had to take care of a few things, and then I got in the car and was probably there in about an hour and 15 minutes.
And she called you at work?
I had just gotten home from work.
When you say you had just gotten home from work, so from your house to where it was?
That's correct.
It was about an hour and a half.
And work and my house are same area.
Okay. Just for my own information, what did you go home for?
I still had to get some stuff together, pack, and then I was going to possibly have my fiance drive me down there and drop me off, so we only had the one car. But at the time I got her call, he couldn't leave then, so I just took off down there.
At the time you got the call, he couldn't leave where?
Originally, he was going to drive me down there. We were considering him driving me down there and dropping me off. But when I got the call from her...
Oh, so that you were going to wait for him to drop you off?
Correct.
Okay. And he was delayed at work?
Correct.
What time did your fiancé get home from work?
I don't know exactly what time, but he was arriving about the time that I just decided to leave and head down once I found out they were in the parking lot.
No. Then he would have driven you because you would have been very upset. So he wasn't home when you left.
What I recall is he was just getting home and I was leaving.
That doesn't sound right to me.
Because I do, you know, now that I recall, I was on the phone with Terry after I got her call when my fiance walked in the front door.
Any reason why he didn't accompany you?
I just went. I was ready to go at that point.
Not so sure. In any event, you had called the defendant to let the defendant know that the girls were coming that day.
That is correct. I left him a text message and I said that if traffic went well, should arrive like in about an hour. He said he would unlock the door. And then once they got there, my specific text message is the girls arrived. I'm still at work and we'll be heading down after. I have a copy of that.
I'd like to see it.
There's multiple here. And then that's when I did not hear from him again. He stopped responding. And about 10 minutes later, I got the call from Samantha saying the neighborhood came in.
Samantha, but did there come a time that you went back to sit on the patio of the house?
Yes, we did.
Okay. And these were texts back and forth?
Yes. She texts and says, we will be arriving in about an hour if traffic goes well.
No. You want your deposit back?
Yes.
Which was how much?
It was the actual cost of the rental, which was $1,180.
Which she already got back, by the way.
Did you get your money back?
So the bank...
I think that's an either yes or a no.
Melissa McDermott is accusing Terry Gallimore of ruining her daughter's 17th birthday party by having Melissa's daughter removed from his property.
You wrote to her and said, this was after your neighbor had already told him to get out of the house and locked the house. The girls went to a parking lot, but they were frightened to be there. It was getting late. And you texted her and you said, my neighbor let me know that the girls are sitting on the private patio, and that's okay. Please let me know when you arrive at the property. Thanks. Now, you're responding to him, and you're not there yet.
Correct.
So I would like to know how you're texting him when you're driving in the car.
I just did.
You texted him. You want me to know. I didn't like the fact that they were forced to sit in a parking lot alone in unfamiliar territory, so I told them to go and sit there. And then you wrote, I'm 10 minutes out. The girls are now on their cars. I assume you meant in their cars because they were freezing. And then you write back, you are more than welcome to stay at the house. The neighbor does not have keys to the house.
That was hours later after
Just a
we
second.
had...
I'm sorry, Terry. I will be having to find a hotel. I don't want to have to worry about having to lock the door at all times to prevent a stranger from entering. The keys are on the counter and the door is locked. Again, if you do not understand why we have chosen not to stay and do not want a refund of my money, I won't have a choice but to seek reimbursement in court. Again, I'm sorry about your mother and wish her the best. What happened with your mother?
She was in the hospital.
Okay. So you must have had a conversation intervening here because you were annoyed at him, but yet you must have said something about your mother, and it was...
We had several conversations on the phone, and I told her, I go, you're more than welcome to stay at the house. When you get there, I'll get you in the house, but you need to be there. I can't let 5 girls stay at the house by themselves.
By the way, when you were speaking to her on the phone...
She was at home.
She had gotten home already?
Yes.
With the girls?
No, she was at her house. The girls were still in Newport.
Oh, is that right?
That was the first conversation we had right after I got the frantic call from my daughter saying she was told to leave by the neighbor. I got on the phone with Terry and said, what just happened? Why didn't you just call me?
Just a second. What time was it that you called?
We had several, any time between 6:30 and almost 8.
I can tell you the exact time.
Yeah, give me the exact time that you were still talking to him from your house.
I got the call from Samantha at 5:48. I tried calling him at 5:55, 5:59, 6:01 is when I actually got on the phone with him.
Okay, when were you still at home when your
At
fiance
6:01 p.m.
When your fiance was home?
Correct. That's when
That was 6 o'clock.
Yes,
that was 6 o'clock. And what time did you arrive at the house?
I told him at 7.
No. What time did you arrive?
I was 10 minutes out at 7:38, so 7:48.
And you decided not to stay.
We decided not to stay at his property, correct?
Absolutely right. And you want your deposit back, which was how much?
It wasn't the deposit. He never cashed that check. It was the actual cost of the rental, which was $1,180.
So
she already got back, by the way. Verbo gave her money back in January, so I'm not even sure why we're here.
Did you get your money back?
So the bank...
I think that's an either yes or a no. Did you get your money back?
It was reversed through the bank dispute, but they said that Terry did not reimburse it. So once if we were to get him to reimburse it, we were going to give that back to Verbo.
Did you get your money back?
Yes.
So then what are you doing here?
Well, we had filed this before we found that out.
Yeah.
Oh, just a second.
No.
And when I called Verbo to find out why the money was reversed, it said it because we had originally disputed it with the bank, and they did a long investigation.
Don't tell me what they said. The refund on booking, which I would have given you, actually, I actually think that you stepped way over the line in going into the property and telling the girls to leave. That's his responsibility, not yours.
I knew he was dealing with his mom, so I said I would help him out. So
I'm just telling you.
Okay.
It was nervy and bossy, and you see 5 17-year-old girls. They're very quiet-spoken. They weren't doing anything wrong. They weren't disruptive. They weren't making noise. And at 5:30 or 6 o'clock at night, you don't tell them to go outside. You can't be here and lock the door. That's ridiculous. Sit down. $1,180 is what you got back. You're suing this man for $4,352.
That is correct.
For what?
We also included the cost of the hotel. We had to find.
That's your problem. He told you that you could stay there. You decided not to stay there. I don't know why you're here.
We didn't
I don't
feel
know why
safe
you're
staying.
wasting my time. So, lesson is anything that you want the person that rents this house to do, to have, to spend, to occupy, anything that you consider an integral part of the lease has to be in that document.
Yeah, that's my bad. I thought it was good because they had to check it off before they even got that far.
What I'm telling you is anything that's important to you, the number of people, how old they are, anything has to be in there. In any event, you got your money back. You want the cost of your hotel. According to you, you were going to eat in and you were forced to go out for meals. You're charging them for meals. Miss McDermott, you're smarter than that. Your case is dismissed. We're done. Thank you.
Court's adjourned.
Well, I was furious. I was furious because there was nothing that, he had never said that no one could be on the property unless they were 25.
I had talked to Melissa before saying that she has to be there when they come in. I don't allow people to check in unless the primary renter is there.
I let him know that they were there. He could have called me like an adult and worked it out with me.
Younger kids coming in, parents saying that they're going to be there, parents never show up. And then the kids are there for the weekend or for the 4 or 5 days and they trash the house.
I think, it kind of sucks. I feel like, that's what we had planned for the weekend and it kind of got ruined. And I think the money should have came out of his pocket, honestly.
I think it's right. I mean, she got her money back in January. She filed the case in June. So how does she not know? And it is my money. They took it out of my bank account.
Like the first shock of it was pretty scary, but just after that, it was kind of just annoying.
So I'm going to definitely alter the contract to put that in there.
I'll just know better from this point forward when booking to make sure that we get it all together before we go.
Okay, so I've never rented an Airbnb. Have you?
I've tried, but I know that age requirement of 25 is listed on a lot of properties for owners to ensure that an adult is present at all times. So each homeowner can list house rules.
Okay.
That before you can
Get a lease.
the property,
Got
you
it.
have to agree to those terms.
Got it.
But to me, it sounded odd that he did not include those terms in the actual lease, because as far as I know, you don't sign off on the house rules, you just agree to them. There's no signs.
There's agree, don't agree, like you get when you
It's
get...
either agree or you
terms
pick a new property. The homeowner is assuming that you've read those rules, and before you proceed to the next step to receive a lease, they assume that you've read those rules and are going to abide by them.
Yeah, but it makes sense to have those rules, either all of them or some of them, incorporated into a written lease.
Absolutely.
Since you don't really sign off on those house rules.
Exactly.
Okay, I got it. Anyway, she got her money back. Her daughter is adorable. She celebrated her 17th birthday. And a defendant learned that he has to modify his lease. And the nosy neighbor, she went back to having dinner. Everybody's happy.